Okay, that title was a little harsh, but if your inner voice sounds like Regina George in a bad mood, you need to be here. You know that scene in Mean Girls where Regina George goes, "Oh my god, I love your skirt, where did you get it?" And then turns around and says, "That is the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen." That's what a lot of our inner voices sound like. Let me know if you relate. You look in the mirror and think, wait, these heatless curls actually ate today. But before you can enjoy the moment, your inner mean girl is like, okay, but your eyeliner's uneven, your brows are too fluffy, and are you leaving the house in that shirt? Or maybe you slay a presentation at work and you're feeling so aligned, but as you walk back to your desk, your brain goes, you haven't texted your bestie back in 4 days, and your dating life is less exciting than trying to make fetch happen. Or maybe eldest daughter syndrome is in full force and you've been so focused on keeping your life chaos free, but you can't even enjoy the peace because your sister's spiraling and your mom's in a mood and somehow your dog has emotional trauma that feels like your responsibility. If that's you, consider this video the bus that hit Regina George, because by the end of it, your inner mean girl won't know what hit her and you'll be on your way to becoming the greatest bestie a girl could ever wish for yourself. We're unpacking what real self-love looks like, how to make your mind a soft, safe place to land, and how to build a sensory sanctuary that feels like a hug on those days when nothing is going your way. Because you're not actually insecure, you're just gaslighting yourself into being your own worst critic, being your own Regina George. But that ends today because I'm going to help you become the best friend of your dreams. So grab your matcha, grab a notebook, and let's unpack. Hey girl, and welcome back to our channel, or welcome if you are new here. I'm Monet, your mindset coach and tour guide to your higher self. And if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now so you never feel lost or like you have to figure it out all on your own again. Now listen, your relationship with yourself didn't come out of nowhere. It was modeled. Through mirror neurons, your brain absorbs what you observe, not just what you experience. So if the women you grew up watching, like your mom, your older sister, or Carrie Bradshaw on TV, were always rushed and overfunctioning and self-critical, or if they never celebrated themselves, never took real rest, and constantly defaulted to, "I'm fine," even when they were clearly not fine, then your brain learned that kindness is indulgent and confidence is dangerous, or rest is lazy, or worst of all, self-respect makes people uncomfortable. And even if you want to be soft and kind and safe with yourself now, your body might still reject it. Because for years, your brain believed, we don't do that here. But we are about to start. And speaking as a girl who used to feel exactly like you, like my thoughts were harsher than any mean girl ever could be, let me be the first to tell you that you are not a project to fix. You are a person to come home to. And your inner world shouldn't feel like a war zone or trying to find a seat in the cafeteria at your old high school. It should feel like a home base. And the best way to build that is by showing up for yourself consistently, quietly, and with the ferocity of a ride or die bestie, especially when no one is watching. And let me also say, if you've tried affirmations in the mirror or writing a love letter to yourself, or any of those other self-love practices that make you feel stupid and send you into a spiral of, why would anyone want to be my friend? I've been there, and I promise you that these 6 steps are not that. Step 1 is for those days when you are down bad crying at the gym. You wouldn't tell your best friend on that day, "Ugh, you are so dramatic," while she's spiraling. So stop doing that to yourself, because you're not Regina George. When I was first diving into the world of coaching, I worked with a coach who hosted a self-love masterclass. And she was the first person to ever point out just how loud and mean my inner mean girl had become. But when your anxiety spikes or shame creeps in, rather than crawling into your mental cave, anchor your body by pairing the moment with a regulating action, such as pulling on a sweater or drinking something warm, or going out to your car and letting out one long, loud scream. Yes, really scream, get it all out, you'll feel better for it. Doing these things teaches your nervous system that stress doesn't mean abandonment. It's your own subconscious way of saying, hey, you've got this. For step number 2, I want you to think back to the last time you had a real crush. For the daily debrief, you are entering your self-crush era. So think about how you behave when you have a crush. How you scroll their Instagram and you learn their coffee order and you replay that 10-second voice memo and you just want to know everything because, you're obsessed. But have you ever given yourself that kind of curiosity? Have you ever crushed on yourself and learned your own tells and patterns and preferences and emotional climate? Probably not, but don't worry, because we're about to change that. Every night this week, I want you to do a 2-minute debrief. Not a journal, not some weird prompt, just a check-in. And ask any question that you can think of that you would have asked a crush. Anything you'd want to know about the last person who gave you those butterflies. Ask it about yourself. How did you feel today? What lights you up? What drains you? What do you want more of? What do you crave in life? And you can do this in a voice memo, in your notes app, in a journal, in your mind. It doesn't matter, but you're building intimacy with yourself the same way you would with someone you love. This is your falling in love moment. Those moments where you stay up late and think about them and feel all giggly, you're about to do that for yourself. And now that you know yourself a little better and you see how gorgeous, brilliant, stunning, witty, hilarious, and charming you are going to woo the shit out of yourself, courtesy of your iPhone. So every Sunday, I want you to set 7 reminders or alarms to pop up at random times during your week. And when you're setting the time, literally just pick random numbers. Might I suggest a 224, and send reminders from your higher self. Things like, hey, you don't have to rush, or your value isn't in what you do, it's in who you are. Don't forget to plan your solo date, or even, damn, you look gorgeous today. And let your phone screen become a soft place to land. And even with the best crush, sometimes the wooing days aren't there and you just need a cozy hug. So for step 4, you're going to curate your sensory sanctuary. This is your higher self equivalent to that moment in the movies where the guy sets up that rooftop candle at dinner, except it's better because this is going to be all your favorite things. So to curate this gorgeous sanctuary for yourself, you're going to choose one smell, one sound, one soft thing, and one special treat. And these are going to become your go-to cues for nervous system safety. Mine are my handmade candles, and then I like to put on my floating or my sunshine playlist on Spotify. My floating is like Billie Eilish, Lana Del Rey, kind of ethereal songs. Sunshine is more of the girly pop songs. And then I put on my Skims pajamas, and for my special treat, it's a pomegranate Coke. But when you feel yourself starting to spiral, you're going to stop and light the candle, put on your playlist, wrap yourself in something cozy, and sip on your favorite beverage or eat your favorite snack, and let your body learn that peace can be practiced and not just hoped for. When you become somebody that you can run home to, your inner mean girl doesn't have any power here. Because even if she says the meanest, rudest, most Regina George coded insult to you, you are the ferocious best friend who will say, girl, you better watch your mouth, and hug you and tell you how wonderful you are afterwards. Step 5 is to glow up your sleep. So when you're falling asleep and you're entering your REM state, your brain is in the alpha and theta wave state. And this is when you're the most receptive to new ideas and growth. So anytime I'm ready to level up or fall more deeply in love with myself, I create a hypnosis with all of my best traits and a few that I'm still manifesting. And it's about 8 to 15 minutes long, and I listen to it as I fall asleep. And let me tell you, it works. When you are falling asleep, hearing all of your best traits and all of the things that your higher self knows you to be, it is impossible not to be, obsessed with yourself. So for this, you can either use a pre-recorded version on YouTube, type in confidence sleep hypnosis or self-love sleep hypnosis. Or if you want something really personalized, you can book a hypnosis session with me in the description box, and we will create your own personalized hypnosis that you'll be able to practice with me, and you'll get a recording to listen to in your sleep. But anything from public speaking to confidence to beauty to becoming more organized, when you start adding a self-love hypnosis into your nightly routine, you are going to wake up and be like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with me. I am so gorgeous and smart and funny. And it becomes easy to be your own bestie because you've heard all the best things about yourself and you trust yourself to grow anything that is maybe not quite where you want it to be. which leads us to step 6, and that is to build long-term loyalty. Now, we are not love bombing ourselves. We are not going to woo the shit out of ourselves, romance ourselves, fall deeply in love with ourselves, only to ghost. We are building a relationship that lasts, the kind that sticks long after motivation fades and beauty changes, things work out and some things fall apart. This is your friendship for life. Start a note in your phone or on a journal page that says, I can rely on myself. And then every single night, I want you to write down one way that you are loyal to yourself today. Not perfect, not exceptional, loyal. It can be things like, hey, I didn't shrink in that meeting when normally I would stay quiet. Or I chose to rest without guilt. Or I waited to respond to when I felt regulated, not when I felt obligated. No one is going to throw you a party for canceling your gym plans so you could take a nap that your mental health desperately needed, but I will, and soon you will too, because that is real self-love, and it rewires your brain faster than any checklist or mirror affirmation or weird self-love ritual ever could. So now that you're feeling like your own best friend, let's act like it, and we're gonna do this together. There are about 5 weeks left of summer. So I'm officially challenging you and I to take ourselves on 5 solo dates. That is 1 for each week. And I'll share mine on short form videos so we can inspire each other. So if you're not following me on Instagram or TikTok, be sure to head over and give me a follow so we can go on little solo dates together. But here are the first 3 dates that I have planned. There's a new cafe near me and I have been wanting to try it so bad. So I'm gonna take myself there, get a matcha, maybe I'll read, maybe I'll edit this video, we'll see. I really have been wanting to watch the old Freaky Friday because I want to go see the new Freakier Friday. So I'm gonna put on a face mask, make myself a pomegranate Coke, get a giant bag of kettle corn, and just have myself a little movie night. And then because we need some balance, I'm going to have a self-care day, which is going to be Pilates, and then I might check out this new sauna red light therapy place that's nearby. I did see that they have free first times. But I'm just gonna have a self-care day and romanticize sweating and hydrating and caring for my body. If you want in, comment below. I'm doing the solo date sprint and we'll do it together. Which leads us to your homework. As always, choose what resonates and let it be simple, doable, and supportive. But your first step is to create your sensory sanctuary. And then every night for the next week, I want you to spend 2 minutes crushing on yourself and get to know yourself. Romance yourself. Really figure out, who is this girl and why should I be completely obsessed with her? And then add your 7 reminders to pop up on your phone and remind you of how gorgeous and talented and intelligent and wise you are, how you totally have time for a solo date, and why you should take that nap instead of going to the gym tomorrow. And last but not least, plan your first solo date of the sprint. And as you go on your solo dates, I would love it if you would DM me or tag me in some pictures so I can see how fun your solo dates are. But the main thing I want you to know is that you do not deserve to be bullied by Regina George, especially not the Regina George that lives inside your head. And you don't need another productivity system, and you don't need to stand in the mirror and say affirmations. You don't need a glow up routine. You need safety inside your own mind. Because when you get to know yourself and you fall deeply in love with yourself, you finally feel like your own best friend. And that is when everything in life gets easier. Your confidence rises, your nervous system calms, and your life finally starts to feel like it's yours. So I hope this video helped you run that bus right over your inner Regina George, and you are starting to realize how gorgeous, amazing, and special you are. As always, remember that I think you are wonderful, wise, and all the good things. Make sure to subscribe so you never feel lost or like you have to figure it out all on your own again. And until next time, I will see you next time. Bye!